Feel like Gandalf. This was last used in War of the Worlds. So bear with me. You kind of learn as you're doing things here. Ah! Hey, assistant. My wife of 40 years is going to come up here and help me. You may as well hang up here, hon. No, it needs to go on this side, hon. You can see how this has been functional. So my name is Jay Porter, and I fight for truth, justice, and the right to wear spandex. Give it up to Bambinos tonight. You know, I mean, this venue, you get an opportunity to perform. This is my first time headlining. You know, Bambinos here. This is like a temple to meat, cheese, and glutens. Are there? You know, if I didn't have Bambinos here, I'd be performing to the sock puppets at home. Yeah, so any vegans here tonight? Well, I understand. You know, it's not that vegans don't like comedy. They just don't have the strength to make it here. Somewhere right now in Vallejo, there's someone sitting back on a chair, and a house cat has them trapped on the chair. And the PBS News is blaring in the background. And they're trying to get a sip of their kale shake. And they're going, help me! Help me! So anyway, you know, speaking of health, you know, I've been looking for something that's been advertised since I was a kid. I heard about vitamin A, B, C, D. I want some vitamin ER. Something that's better, something that's lower in calories, something that's tastier, something that's going to make a girl prettier, make me handsomer. You know, there's already a pill that'll make you hornier, and it's blue. So anyway, you know, I worked in like industrial construction for 40 years. I mean, power plants and refineries. I put security doors in at the psych ward at San Quentin Prison. So these are like, you know, and I am a creative person. I am a right brain person, you know, was in a totally left brain job. And that meant I was trans professional. Now that's 180 from being a professional trans, which I believe there might be some on Solano Boulevard here. So anyway, you know, speaking of that, it goes back to when I was in college and I used to dress. Y'all get those images out of your mind. But I was the West Virginia Institute of Technology dancing golden bear. And I got to admit that when I tried on that bear suit, and I slithered into it, and I put that bear suit on, there were certain feelings that came over me, certain sensations. But I was a lone bear. I didn't have a pack. You know, now there are these groups of people who get to wear animal costumes called furries, and they get together on the weekend. And I got to say, 40 years ago, someone had said, you know, we hear you own a bear suit. We get together and wear animal suits on the weekend of the party. And I would have went, you know, that's totally weird. Man, that's strange. Now, where's the party at? Could you tell me? So anyway, folks. So about 40 years ago, there was a guy who was on top of the comedy world. And his name was Gallagher. And he was famous for doing brainy humor, smashing watermelons. I'm not going to smash any watermelons tonight. But his comedy specials were literally on freaking PBS. This was time of mastodons. No Comedy Central. No, no, no food. DoorDash. Go mall. Have hot dog on stick. I'll go girls. Ancient times. But literally, you would have to set aside a time to watch this guy perform. So the rest of my routine is kind of based on his style. So consider yourself footnoted, consider yourself sourced, and unlike the president of Harvard, I don't plagiarize. So tonight, no, hold on here, dear, hold on. You're just moving. So one of the things, don't get excited, keep the thing up there. So one of the things I get to do as being retired is I get to think about things that you all don't have time to think about, and quite frankly, you don't want to think about. Crime's pretty rampant now, right? So all these businesses, they've got security guards. Hey, why don't we hire some Mexican drug cartel guys, the guys with the tattoos all over their face, the guy with the tooth, get an old golf cart, shoot some holes in the side of it, and have that guy drive around the parking lot. He could be an insecurity officer. Okay. And then I'm thinking too, in this modern woke world, how is Superman maintaining? Let's look at the name Superman. Now that's not very inclusive, isn't it? We would all agree that Superman is a talented person, like an artist is a talented person, or a musician is a talented person. Perhaps Superman could even hope to be as talented as a social justice warrior. But where does Superman go to change now? 40 years ago, there were phone booths everywhere. So Superman has to go to the public restroom. And you know what? That's not as easy as it is, because now we have gender-neutral restrooms. So Superman just has to leave his urinary privilege at the door. He not only has to be a man of steel, he has to have a bladder of steel. The other place he could go is your local coffee shop. And he has to go there often and have the humiliation of asking for a door code. So finally, one day he walks in and the barista goes, "Mr. Kent, we here at the Totally Awake World Coffee Shop, we noticed that you're coming in here quite frequently. And we would like you to know that Metropolis has a lot of resources for the unhomed. And I'd like to give you these brochures. And Mr. Kent, we also believe that you are into cosplay. And that's okay because we dress up as furries on the weekend." So anyway, one thing is Superman leaves a lot of suits behind. Does he have a deal with the Gentleman's Warehouse? I mean, where does Superman work now? 40 years ago, he was working for a great metropolitan newspaper, the Daily Planet. 1 million subscribers. Now the Daily Planet's online, got 10,000 subscribers, begging for $1 a month subscription. At best, Clark Kent's living with his parents in Kansas, blogging in the basement. So the other thing I want to talk about here is, if Superman blows out a fire now, is it an act of heroism or a COVID super spreader event? So I've got to think about another thing here. I get a chance to think. The great motivators, unappreciated movements of inspiration and invention in society that don't get credit. And that's alcohol and boredom. Let's go back 150 years ago. 3 cowboys sitting on a fence somewhere in Texas, a bottle of tequila, and they're looking and there's a bull in the middle of the pen. And they're betting, I bet you can't ride that bull. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how we got the Professional Bull Riders Tour. Now think about COVID. We couldn't go anywhere. We could go absolutely nowhere on COVID. So what did somebody do? Let's take an exercise bike and let's strap an iPad to it. And then we're going to put a coach on that, and people are going to pedal to nowhere, and that coach is going to say, "You're a champion." So the other invention that I thought was really brilliant was something called the mirror. And that was a full-length mirror on the wall that you could see your personal trainer. And, they could say while you're working out. But like the Thigh Master and other exercise equipment over time, even the mirror is going to be forgotten. And it's going to sit there for months in some household. And finally, someday, someone's going to turn it on, and their personal trainer is suddenly going to be 400 pounds eating a donut. Where have you been? There's been nobody here working out for months. So, man, we had the Iowa caucuses the other night, 2024. Freaking election. This is when America gets to go into November and vote for herpes or monkeypox. Okay, folks. But I figure, how many people here are happy with what's going on in Washington? I don't know. Nobody goes, "Yeah, I love it, man." So anyway, I figured out part of the problem. They've concentrated all the smartness in Washington, D.C. into one place. They call it the Central Intelligence Agency. Maybe we need to concentrate all the stupidity in one place so it can suck it in. Call it the Central Stupidity Agency. Okay. So another department that absolutely fails is the U.S. Department of Education. Educators. Those are the demons that ban dodgeball. And those are the people who call you at home and go, "Your child was acting up in drama class today." So what we really need is a Department of Learning. And that should be a Department of Common Sense underneath that. So if we had a U.S. Department of Common Sense, dear, would you bring me over my bucket of justice, please? You've heard about the $900 hammer that the government buys. So if we had, don't worry, I'll just be throwing things in the audience here anytime. If we had a Department of Common Sense, we wouldn't have that problem. Because we would go, "Mr. Smith, thank you for coming here today. We understand you are the person at the Pentagon responsible for procuring the $900 impact device. Would you please put your hand out? Mr. Smith, would you please quit screaming? Mr. Smith, I will now provide you the $15 hammer from Home Depot. Would you quit screaming, please? Would you please put your hand out? Your other hand. Quit screaming." Well, that was a $2 problem. Thank you for going through this exercise with by the Department of Learning, fully sponsored by the U.S. Department of Common Sense. So, now that we got a whole lot of, used to be when we had a lot of smart people, our phones were dumb. They had to be plugged into the wall. Now we got so many dumb people, our phones have got to be smart. And how are we making up for it? Artificial intelligence. So, now you can get an app with an AI girlfriend. Only trouble is after a few weeks they get a little possessive. "Where are you going?" "Oh, out with your friends. What you doing? Didn't you do that before?" "Oh, you're going out? Well, do what you want." So anyway, I just thought artificial intelligence is not the answer to our problems. So one of the things I have a lot of respect for, a lot of empathy, is people who learn English as a second language. Because English is a really screwed up language. It's like they threw a wild party in England and the Germans came and brought some beer and the French came and brought some wine and then the Vikings came and brought some mead and then they partied all night long and everybody was drinking everything everybody else brought. And by the end of the morning, by the end of the night, everybody understood what everybody else was saying. So it's kind of a complex language. And people school have got to learn adjectives and adverbs and nouns and pronouns. But you know what our language is infested with? Names! Our language is infected with names. Next. Homonyms. Words that sound similar. It sounds like, the name homonym sounds like a bunch of furries got together and had a barbershop quartet. Toe, 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 and I'm Bob. So anyway, those are words that sound the same, but they're spelled differently. So it's like, I'm going to the boathouse to have a row. No, I'm going to the boathouse to have a row. I saw my friends last night, to which Hannibal Lecter responded, I saw my friends also. I know, that's dark humor, but you know, as Stalin might have said, dark humor is like bread, not everybody gets it. And wait a minute, don't move on there. In some parts of the country, these are known as homonyms. And they don't even teach about these in Alabama. And then synonyms. We don't even know what they've been up to. In fact, there's words that have the same meaning, but they're different words. And the ultimate synonym, I think, is equivalent. Equivalent, tantamount, equal, even, same, comparable, identical, or alike, commensurate, correspondent, and homologous. Someone tomorrow is going to go, I went last night for comedy, and some guy was up doing a one-man Harry Potter routine. And finally, our language is infested with antonyms. And that's the thing, words are the opposite. Hot, cold, wet, dry, but things just don't make sense. Words like inevitable, it's not going to happen. What about evitable? It's evitable that the Dallas Cowboys are never going to win another Super Bowl. Unkempt. Your hair looked unkempt. Couldn't you just walk up to a lady and say, my, don't you look kempt today? What about at work? How are you doing? Well, I'm a little overwhelmed with the situation. Oh, I'm doing fine. That was underwhelming. What if you're just doing okay? Can't you just be whelmed? And then people's attitudes, if they don't care, they're nonchalant. Well, what if you're serious? Can't you be chalant? And then the ultimate one that I'm going to talk about here is you always hear about the disgruntled employee at work, the unhappy employee. What about all the good, happy, gruntled employees who show up every day and do their job? Well, folks, I'm going to need a little audience participation for the next part. Are we up to that? I got my pointer here. Okay, folks. Anytime I ask, will you say this? You can see the sign that says the damned app. Can you say the damned app? Thank you. They're capable of learning. They have not been educated. Okay, folks. You know, we have these smartphones, and my wife says they have the power of the universe in cat pictures. But sometimes finding what you specifically want is difficult. Have you ever wanted to find a viral video and you can't find the damn app? Have you ever wanted to identify a rare bird and you can't identify the damn app? Have you ever wanted to order freaking chicken nuggets and you can't find the damn app? Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as developed by the Southwest North Dakota State Institute of Animal Husbandry and Ancient Alien Studies, I present to you the Damned App. Use the Damned App to use it to order a cheeseburger. The Damned App. Use it to buy a car. The Damned App. Use it to buy a house. The Damned App. Use it to find a spouse. The Damned App. It's every damned app you need all in one place. It's the only damned app you'll need. It's the Damned App. Thank you and good night. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Just appreciate Bambinos giving a voice to people like me who probably should be locked up.